So the second golden rule, friends, to have a beautiful relationship with people is we got to operate on obligations and never on rights. We must always operate on duties and never on rights. So a husband should constantly think in terms of what are my duties towards my wife. Similarly, the wife should think in terms of her duties towards the husband and never claim their rights. And over here, duty does not mean in the negative sense, as if you're duty bound and it's a burden. It's not so. Duty meaning what you ought to be doing. That's because you've got desires. Remember this, as long as you've got desires, you will have duties. So your duties are directly proportional to your obligations. Right? Your duties are directly proportional to your desires. If you desire to have a partner, you've got duties towards her. If you desire to have children, you have obligations towards the children. You want a BMW, you have duties towards going to achieve that. Right? As the saying goes, you can't have the cake and eat it too. So here we have both the members of a family focusing on their duties, performing their duties towards each other and never claiming rights. In fact, friends, we have no right over another person. We just have one right, and that is the right to serve. The right to serve unconditionally. As Lord Jesus says, be content to serve. Serve unconditionally in a spirit of service and sacrifice if you really want to be happy in life. But that's not what we do. Both husband and wife today think in terms of their rights. The husband thinks, well, I've got married to this lady. These are my rights. I've got to get this from her. Similarly, the wife thinks in terms of her rights. I've got married to this person, to this man, and he ought to serve me in such a fashion. Well, again, that relationship is based more on demands, expectations, selfishness. And that's calling for trouble again. Because you take your partner for granted. You take that relationship for granted. And again, your partner cannot take those incessant demands. It's again like a piggyback. Someone is always on your back. You want that person to just lay off. Rather, if we change our attitude, how can I be of service to this person? How can I be of use? How can I be useful to my partner with no expectations and demands? That relationship really flourishes. It's a perfect, healthy relationship. You see, friends, any relationship that's based on rights, there's a stress and strain in that relationship, which is applicable in all relationships, even in any organization. Imagine the boss functioning on rights. I'm paying you money, you better work for me. The employee thinks, I'm working, you better pay me. We might not express it in a gross fashion, but in a subtle behavior, the other person can clearly sense it, that you're functioning on rights. So any relationship based on rights, there's a stress and strain. These days, unfortunately, even parents, parents telling children, I've brought you up, I have spent so much time, energy and money on you, it's my right that you serve me. Now, no matter how right you are, as a parent, of course, you've toiled, you've sweated it out, you've really brought up your children by putting in a lot of time, effort, energy, money. But if the child senses that you're claiming your right, well, you've lost the relationship. No one likes that. Right? Rather, if you perform your duties without claiming your rights, your children, your kith and kin will serve you unasked. They'll in fact serve you more than you expect. So, what are our duties towards our partner and our children or people who we're relating to? Our duties, our obligations is to advance the good of the partner instead of just pampering the likes and dislikes of the partner. I know wives pampering the likes and dislikes of the husband, just giving him unhealthy food that he likes, deep fried food, and spoiling the health of the partner. So our duties, what does it comprise? It comprises of advancing the good of the partner at all levels of his or her personality. At the physical level, how can I make sure that I give good health, enhance the good health of my partner? At the emotional level, how can I help to make his or her emotions purer, chaster? At the intellectual level, how can I help him or her to have positive and powerful thoughts? Right? And mind you, make no mistake, in all scriptures, in all religions, all the masters proclaim doing one's duty is the highest form of worship. So you're being a great devotee, if you might like, or you're being a very wise person if you're operating on obligations, duties, and never on rights.